Let me ask you something. Have you ever chased something so hard for so long that you didn't realize what it was costing you until it was almost too late? Have you ever mistaken achievement for fulfillment, success for meaning, ambition for love? This isn't just a story. This is a reflection, a mirror held up to the souls of all of us who have been told that more is always better. More hours, more wins, more respect, more applause. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. We sacrifice birthdays, relationships, even our own peace, telling ourselves, I'll rest when I'm there. But what if there isn't real? What if the summit you're climbing is empty? What I'm about to share with you isn't fiction for fiction's sake. It's a story rooted in a very real truth, a truth buried deep beneath the surface of high-rise success and gold-plated recognition. It's about a woman named Maya, but it could just as easily be about you, or me, or anyone who's ever traded pieces of their soul for progress. This is a story about ambition, yes, but more than that, it's a story about awakening, about remembering what we were born knowing but somehow forgot, that no amount of accolades can replace the warmth of someone who waits up for you, that a trophy doesn't hold your hand in a hospital room, that sometimes the highest form of success is just being present. If you've ever felt the ache of loneliness while surrounded by applause, if you've ever wondered why, after everything you've achieved, something still feels missing, then this story is for you. So take a breath, lean in, and listen closely. And if stories like this resonate with something deep in you, then go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs it. Because sometimes one story can shift an entire life. This is the story of Maya, and it begins with fire. Maya had always been driven by a fierce fire of ambition. Even as a little girl, she was the one who aimed for the top of every class, the lead in every play, the gold medal in every competition. Growing up in a small town with modest means, she often heard her parents worrying about bills and envying those with better fortunes. Maya promised herself she would rise above those humble beginnings. She wanted to give her family a better life, but also deep down, she wanted to prove to the world, and perhaps to herself, that she was worthy of respect and admiration. In her 20s, that ambition took on a life of its own. She threw herself into her studies at a prestigious university, often staying up past midnight in the library when others were out enjoying parties or lounging on the quad. She graduated at the top of her class and landed a coveted job in a competitive city firm. In the gleaming glass towers of downtown, she saw her future reflecting back at her, powerful, successful, and envied. Maya worked relentless hours, volunteering for the projects no one else wanted, arriving before her boss and leaving long after everyone had gone home. Her colleagues admired her work ethic, but also whispered that she was married to her job. She brushed off their comments. To her, this was what it took to reach the summit. I'll slow down once I get there, she often thought. Her personal life, bit by bit, became an afterthought. Friends' invitations to dinners or weekend getaways were politely declined or eventually stopped coming. There was a man she dated for a while, someone she cared for deeply, but when he spoke of wanting more time together, perhaps even a future and a family, Maya felt a panic she couldn't fully explain. She ended the relationship, telling herself that love would only distract her from her goals. He left heartbroken and confused, and though it pained her, she steeled herself by focusing on the next big project at work. It will be worth it in the end, she told herself during lonely evenings, eating takeout in her high-rise apartment while reviewing reports late into the night. And in many ways, her efforts paid off. By her early 30s, Maya climbed to a position that people twice her age struggled to reach. She became one of the youngest partners in her company's history. The day she got the promotion, she sat in the corner office she'd earned, A panoramic view of the city sprawled below, and felt a surge of triumph. This was the moment she had dreamed of. Yet, as the initial excitement settled, she was surprised to find a strange hollowness echoing in that luxurious office. She brushed it aside as just fatigue. Awards and accolades followed. She was honored at a grand gala as Business Person of the Year in her industry. That night, she stood on stage in an elegant gown, holding a crystal trophy under the bright lights. Hundreds of people clapped for her. Cameras flashed. It should have been one of the happiest nights of her life, and for a while it was. But as she stepped off the stage and the applause faded, she scanned the crowd and realized that, aside from a few colleagues, there was no one there who truly knew her. She had acquaintances and admirers aplenty, but no close friend holding her bouquet, no beloved face to wink at her from the audience. The realization stung in a way she hadn't expected. She celebrated at a fancy after-party, yet even surrounded by chatter and champagne, she felt oddly alone, like a star isolated in the night sky. Still, Maya pushed that feeling down. She was at her peak, she reasoned. She should be happy. The tangible markers of success were all around her: the high salary, the awards, the sleek car, the envy in others' eyes when she walked into a room. This was what she had wanted all these years, wasn't it? She thought maybe she just needed a new goal, perhaps expanding her influence globally, or starting her own firm. The hunger of ambition urged her on, always whispering that the next achievement would finally make her feel complete. Then one day, life intervened in a way her ambition could not shield her from. It started with a phone call on a winter morning. She almost didn't answer. She was racing to a meeting and saw her phone buzz with her mother's number. She decided to pick up, thinking she had a minute to spare. The voice on the other end was quavering and small. Her father had collapsed in the kitchen. A heart attack. He was in the hospital. Her mother said, "It doesn't look good, Maya." In an instant, the edifice of priorities Maya had built inverted. Nothing mattered except getting to that hospital. She left her colleagues in the meeting without much explanation and booked the earliest flight back to her hometown. During the flight, memories she had long tucked away came rushing back. Her father working double shifts to support the family, cheering at her every achievement, and her own voice on the phone in recent years, apologizing that work kept her too busy to visit. Her chest tightened with guilt and fear as the plane touched down and she sped in a taxi to the hospital. When she arrived, she found her father pale and fragile looking in a hospital bed, her mother clutching his hand. Tubes and beeping machines surrounded them. This man who had been so strong in her memory now looked small, mortal. Maya rushed to his side, tears she had held back beginning to escape. Her father's eyes lit up faintly upon seeing her. He was weak, but awake. In the hours that followed, between doctors' updates and the rhythmic beeps of monitors, Maya sat with her parents and felt something cracking inside her. She realized how much she had missed. Birthdays, anniversaries, simple Sunday dinners. Her parents, though always supportive, had lived their lives mostly absent of their only child in recent years. And now she was faced with the possibility of losing her father, and with it, the chance to make up for lost time. Late that night, when her mother dozed in a chair, Maya remained by her father's bedside. He looked at her with loving, tired eyes. In a raspy voice, he managed to speak. "You've done so well for yourself, my girl." She squeezed his hand, tears blurring her vision. "Dad, I'm sorry I wasn't around more. I thought I was doing the right thing, working so hard for all of us. But I'm so sorry." Her voice broke. He gave a gentle shake of his head. "Shh, it's okay. I'm proud of you. Always have been. But remember, money and success, they're good things, but they're not everything. Your mom and I, we always just wanted you to be happy." He managed a faint smile. And maybe give us a little grandchild someday, eh? He added, attempting a chuckle that turned into a cough. Maya smiled through her tears, holding his hand with both of hers now. The thought of children, of a family of her own, she had pushed it away so firmly, but here in this stark hospital room, it flooded her with warmth and sorrow. Her father closed his eyes, and for a moment Maya feared the worst, but he was just resting. She sat back and realized that in all her achievements, she couldn't remember the last time she'd felt this present in a moment. She wasn't thinking about the next deal or the next accolade. She was here now with the people who loved her most, facing the raw, real stuff of life. Love, fear, hope, regret. That night, after the event, Maya didn't go to a lavish after party. Instead, she went home to have a late dinner with her parents, who were in town visiting. They ate takeout Chinese around her kitchen table, laughing and talking about ordinary things. Her father was healthy again, joking about how he'd taken up Tai Chi at the local community center. Her mother was teasing him about his attempts at cooking. Maya looked around at the scene, her tidy apartment now a bit cluttered with the trappings of her parents' stay, a knit blanket of her mom's on the couch, her dad's reading glasses on the coffee table. It felt warm. It felt like a home. After her parents went to bed, Maya stood by the window, the city skyline twinkling at her. Once, those lights represented everything she aspired to. Now, she appreciated them, but she wasn't owned by them. Her own reflection in the glass looked back at her. She saw a woman who was still strong and capable, but also softer, happier. The emptiness that had once echoed in her achievements was filled now with the love and connections she cultivated. Her ambition wasn't gone, it was just tempered, integrated into a fuller life. She still had goals, perhaps even dreams of starting her own business one day, but she knew now that whatever she did, she wouldn't let the climb consume her, because she had learned the hard way that reaching the top means little if you end up alone or lose yourself on the way. Maya smiled, placing a hand on the cool glass. In the reflection, next to her own face, she could see the faint outline of her parents moving about, getting ready for bed, and beyond them on a shelf, the glint of her many trophies and awards. There was room for both in her life now, the achievements and the people she loved, the striving and the contentment. She whispered a thank you, to fate, or to whatever had woken her up to what mattered before it was too late. As she turned off the lights and headed to sleep, she felt that inner fire still warm within her, but it was no longer a ravenous blaze consuming everything in its path. It was a steady flame, one that could light her way without burning her up. Maya realized that for the first time she felt truly successful, not just in career, but in life. And that was a victory far sweeter than any award she had ever received. And that is how Maya found her way back, not just to her parents or to peace, but to herself. She still had ambition. She still had dreams. But now, they shared space with laughter, with connection, with stillness. Because real success, it's not about how fast you climb or how high. It's about who's holding your hand when you get there. It's about whether your soul still recognizes you at the top. Maybe you see a little of yourself in her. Maybe you've been running so hard for so long that you forgot why you started in the first place. Maybe it's time to pause. And if you've made it this far, then maybe you're ready to begin your own chapter of balance, reflection, and growth. I've linked something in the description that helped me, and that might help you too. A simple, powerful tool to reconnect with yourself and what really matters. It's not just a product, it's a reminder. A guided life journal that helps you sort through the noise and rediscover your why. When you pick it up, you're not just buying pages, you're buying perspective. The true meaning, the wisdom that Maya had to nearly lose everything to find, is waiting for you right there. Check it out in description. If this story touched you, like it. Subscribe for more stories that speak not just to the mind, but to the soul. And share this with someone you love, because sometimes one story is all it takes to wake up. Until next time, keep striving, but don't forget to feel. You deserve a life that's full, not just busy.